In today's video, I'm going to share something that might disappoint you. It might frustrate you, and it might even make you angry, but it has to be said. I want to talk to you about the brutal truth of learning English, what it really takes to become fluent. This is not a simple feel-good topic. It's complicated, but if you're serious about improving your English and becoming fluent, you need to watch this. Look, over the last 3 years, I've helped millions of students on social media and thousands of students in our programs improve their English. So I've seen what works and what doesn't work. I've also spent a lot of time learning languages myself. I speak German, I studied Italian and French, and also some other languages as well. So I know from experience what works and what doesn't work when learning a language. Now, one of the questions I get asked all the time is, how can I become fluent in English? I get this question probably 5, 10, 15 times a day on Instagram, on YouTube in the comments, and on Facebook. And it's such a complicated topic. It's such a difficult question to answer because everybody has a different definition. And for me personally, fluency is your ability to speak a language without letting the language become a barrier. So if you can speak a language and you don't have to think about the language, that's fluency. Fluency is not perfection. Fluency is not speaking a language perfectly without any mistakes. Native speakers are fluent. Native speakers make mistakes. So being fluent in a language does not mean being perfect. It simply means being able to communicate without letting language be a barrier. Now, here's the truth. You may never feel as comfortable in English as you do in your native language. It might never happen, and that's completely normal. The good news is you don't have to be. To become fluent, you don't have to speak English as good as you do your native language. You just have to be able to speak without thinking about language, without letting language prevent you from expressing yourself. You're not a native English speaker, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Why would you want to be one? You bring your own culture, you bring your own perspectives, you bring your own ways of thinking. That's valuable, and that's what makes you unique. Now, something that you also have to realize is there's no magic bullet for fluency. And by magic bullet, I mean there's no pill you can take, there's no secret, there's no shortcut that's going to make you fluent overnight or in a week. One of the questions students often ask me is, can you guarantee fluency? Can you promise me that I'll become fluent? And my answer is always the same. No, I can't promise you you'll become fluent. I can't guarantee that. Anybody who promises you that you'll become fluent in a week or a month or whatever period of time is not being honest with you. It's like going to a personal trainer. If you go to your personal trainer and say, can you promise me that you'll make me strong? Can you promise me that I will build muscle? Well, your personal trainer can't promise you that because it's on you. It's on you to go to the gym. It's on you to exercise. It's on you to follow the routine. But what they can do is give you the tools, the resources, and the structure to get there. But at the end of the day, you still have to do the work. And it's the same with learning a language. There's no shortcut. There's no way around it. You just have to learn the rules. You have to speak. You have to show up. And you have to do the work. Improving any skill is a matter of hard work. Now, another thing that students say all the time is that they don't have any talent. They're not talented at languages. They have no natural ability, and that's why their English is not improving. Now, this is just an excuse. I used to think that everybody could learn a language at the same rate. And honestly, I realize now that is not the case. Some people do have natural talent. Some people do have the ability to learn faster and to retain information and new vocabulary faster than other people. But just because you don't think you have talent doesn't mean you can't improve your English. Yes, some people are better at learning languages, just like some people are better at math, at running, or at music. But if you let that become an excuse, you're not doing yourself any favors. Some students say they're too old to learn English. That's not true. We've had students improve their English in their 90s. Some students say they don't have time. That's not true either. All you have to do is take stuff you're doing in your own language and translate it into English. For example, if you listen to the radio on the way back from work, do that in English. If you use your phone, if you watch TikTok, if you watch Instagram, do that in English. You don't need more hours in the day. You simply need to replace things you're doing in your native language with things in English. Now, what do all these have in common? Well, these are excuses. They are excuses that you tell yourself because you want to avoid doing the hard work. You want to avoid showing up. You want to avoid all the effort it takes to learn a language. I get that. We are human. We are designed to try to do things the most efficient way possible, but you have to try to overcome that urge. The good news is we are human, and human beings are built to communicate. As a species, communication is so important to us. Our ability to communicate using spoken language is what separates us from most other animals. And you already speak your native language fluently, so why shouldn't you be able to speak English fluently? You have to understand that language is just the vehicle. If you know how to drive, you can drive a sports car, you can drive a tractor, you can drive a truck. Of course, there will be some differences. It will be a lot harder to turn in a truck than it is in a sports car. The truck might be slower. But if you're familiar with the fundamentals of driving, it doesn't matter which vehicle you drive. The principles are exactly the same. And it's the same with language. If you are a human being, which I know you are, and you are able to communicate in one language, you have everything you need inside you and in your brain to communicate in a second language. You just need the right tools, consistent practice, and I hate to say this because this sounds just like a bunch of nonsense, but you need to believe in yourself. You need to believe that you, as a human being, are capable of learning language. Because if you don't believe that, then everything I just said is useless. You need to fundamentally understand and acknowledge the fact that you are able to learn language. You are designed to learn language. That is one of the things that makes you human. And now it's just about going from that sports car to that truck, or from that tractor to that SUV. You're simply changing the vehicle. You already know how to drive. You're just changing the type of vehicle you drive. So at the end of the day, there is no shortcut. You need to be doing the work. You need to be watching videos on English. You need to be watching movies. You need to be studying the grammar rules. You need to be speaking with people. But I can promise you that if you do this, you will become fluent. I can't promise you it'll happen in a month or a year. It might take more time. But if you do this, if you follow this formula, you will become fluent. As long as you put in the work, as long as you actually stick with it and stay consistent. Because truth be told, it's on you to do this. It's on you to hold yourself accountable, follow a routine, and see progress. Now, if you are looking for a place where you can improve your English, we've helped thousands of students in our programs. And click the link below to apply. We'd love to see your application and to see if we can help you out. Don't forget to subscribe to English at the Ready here on YouTube for future lessons. Leave a like, let me know in the comments if you've been making excuses for your English or why you're not improving. I'd love to hear from you. I always appreciate the honesty. The sooner we can acknowledge we've been making excuses, the faster we can move on and start improving. I'll see you in the next video.